Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Salma Nurwardah. I'm from Class E Public Administration. And here, I want to explain about the policy in Vietnam country. Vietnam is currently a country located in Southeast Asia, with a population of around 96 million people. Vietnam has a rich history, diverse culture. The country boasts beautiful natural landscape such as beach, mountain, and tropical forests, as well as a rich cultural heritage including temples, policy, and historical sites. The my policy implemented in 1986 was initiated in response to the failure of the centrally planned economic system, which led to stagnation and poverty. The background of this policy was the need for more open and market-oriented economic reforms, as well as attracting foreign investment to advance the country. Here are future details regarding the policy content, the steps taken, the regulation implemented, and the policy instrument used. For the first is economic liberalization. In economic liberalization, there are reduction of government role in the economy. They may decrease direct state involvement in controlling the economy. The government reduce state ownership and management of business and include the country about explaining providing more space for the private sector and market initiatives. And next is trade liberalization. This policy liberalization international trade by reducing tariff and non-tariff barriers, expanding export market, and improving the investment climate. And for the third is about activities and investment. This include bureaucracy reduction, streamlining business procedure, and improving the investment climate. For the second is foreign investment. Foreign investment, there are encouragement of foreign direct investment. They may provide incentives and facilitation for foreign companies to invest in Vietnam. The government offered investment freedom, legal protection, and tax incentive to foreign investors. And then establishment of special economic zones. The government created special economic zones in several regions, offering specific facilities and incentive to attract foreign investment. And for the third is privatization and decentralization. Privatization of the public sector. The government sought or redistribute state-owned assets to the private sector. This involved the privatization of state-owned enterprise, bank, and other industrial sector. Okay, for the next is decentralization of economic decision making. This policy guaranteed greater authority to the local level in making economic decisions, including resource allocation, infrastructure development, and local economic sector development. For the fourth is agricultural reform. And for the first is introduction of contract-based system. The government introduced contract-based agricultural system, allowing farmers to collaborate with support. And the next price liberalization, the government led intervention in setting agricultural price and allowed market mechanisms to determine fairer price for the farmer. And for the last is about education and training achievement. There are increased access to education. The government improved access to primary and secondary education for all Vietnam citizens. New schools were established and equality education programs were expanded. And the implementation of the policy occurred at the national, regional, and local levels. The central government was responsible for policy formulation, regulation creation, and policy implementation. It's about policy implementation. This was responsible for the citizen in the Vietnam levels. And the regulation implemented include the creation of laws, regulation, decision, and agreements supporting the implementation of the policy. This encompassed investment laws, labor laws, trade policy, and sector-specific regulation, such as those for the financial, agricultural, and industrial sector. During policy implementation, the government collaborates with various stakeholders, including the private sector, international organization, and civil society. They work together in policy formulation, providing input and supporting the implementation of the Doi Moi policy. And for the significant result of the Doi Moi policy in Vietnam, the present method there are. For the first is rapid economic growth. Vietnam has achieved high level of economic growth in recent decades. The average GDP growth rate is around 6 till 7% per year, and the country has become one of the large economies in Southeast Asia. And the second is reduction in poverty rates. The Doi Moi policy has successfully poverty rate in Vietnam. The number of people living below the poverty line has significantly decreased, and overall living standard have improved. And for the third is improved social welfare. Economic growth has also had an impact on improved social welfare. Access to education, housing, healthcare, and basic infrastructure has increased. And for the fourth is significant foreign direct investment. The Doi Moi policy has successfully attracted substantial foreign direct investment. Many multinational companies have invested in Vietnam, contributing to technology transfer, job creation, and raising industry standards. And the last is international relations. Throughout the Doi Moi policy, Vietnam has strengthened its economic and political relations with many countries worldwide. The country became a member of the WTO in 2007 and has free trade agreement with numerous trading partners. And overall, the Doi Moi policy has had significant impact on Vietnam, transforming it into a rapidly developing economy, reducing poverty, and improving the well-being of its people. And the Doi Moi policy in Vietnam includes steps such as economic liberalization, encouraged foreign investment, privatization, agricultural reform, and education and training enhancement. By adopting this policy, Vietnam has achieved significant economic progress, reduced poverty, and improved the Vietnam citizen. Okay, that's all from me. Thanks for your attention. And sorry for my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.